With all the talk right now that's coming out about Black Adam and the post-credit scene attached to it, which Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson spoiled on Jimmy Fallon's program, I thought now was the right time to ask, DC, what the f*** are you doing? For the longest time, it looked like we were never going to get Henry Cavill back as Superman, but I guess spoilers, as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson confirmed on Jimmy Fallon's show, that yeah, I guess we are. And if you don't believe me, just take a look for yourself. It's everywhere. I'm not going to post it here because I don't want to risk a takedown, but it's everywhere. With the new heads over at Warner Discovery, I didn't think that we were going to see any kind of continuation of the Snyderverse because it seemed really apparent that Warner Brothers wanted to distance themselves as much as possible. I mean, everything has been pretty disconnected ever since Justice League. Yeah, sure, we have some cameos here and there, but really, it doesn't seem like they're trying to arc towards one connective story. I mean, we've had 2 Suicide Squads, 2 Justice Leagues, we had Birds of Prey, Aquaman, Shazam, and the Wonder Womans. And there's probably more that I'm forgetting. But it seems like ever since Justice League, they got burned about trying to connect towards a cohesive storyline and just decided to go off on their own tangents. Now, for me personally, I don't mind it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that they're doing individual stories, but I really wish that they would build up towards something big, like Marvel did with the Avengers. They were playing catch-up for a while, so they tried to make it as fast as possible, and that's how we ended up with Justice League after just, 3 films? 4 if you count Suicide Squad? And yes, Marvel had a lot more films at first to build up towards their Avengers film, but it seems like they're not really trying to bridge towards anything at all anymore at DC. And I do know that since they have the new heads at Warner Discovery, that they want to have a clean slate, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do with The Flash, if the movie ever comes out with all Ezra Miller's drama. I suppose I can understand their reasoning for wanting to have a clean slate, especially since there's been so much confusion recently about what is and isn't going to be in the same storyline. But seeing what they wanted to do with the original Justice League, breaking it up over 3 films, that seemed incredible. The storyboards that were leaked from Jim Lee, the original ideas that they were having for Justice League Part 2 and 3, I would have loved to see that. I really hope that eventually we can see these in fruition, but I really doubt that we'll see it at this point because it seems like Warner doesn't want anything to do with Zack Snyder or anything to be touched. And that really is a disappointment, considering those movies visually were amazing. Writing-wise, not so much. For an example,
Kill Martha. Why did you say that name?
but at least they were building towards something. I mean, now we get sequels like Wonder Woman 84, which seems to have nothing to do with the previous one, and apparently Aquaman 2. But nowadays we just get sequels that don't really seem like they're building to anything specific. Like, at least when you look at the original MCU films, you get Iron Man, Iron Man 2, which leads directly into Avengers, and then from Avengers you go back to solo films like Iron Man 3, but that deals directly with the fallout from the Avengers film. Now it really doesn't seem like there's any kind of fallout from Justice League. It doesn't really seem like any of them are connected to each other anymore, which is really sad because these characters have been interconnected for years. It does look like that's about to change though with Black Adam trying to bring back Henry Cavill's Superman, but we'll see how far that really goes. It seems like all reports that Warner didn't want to deal with Henry Cavill anymore, which is really sad considering he was probably one of the best parts of the DCEU so far. And moving forward after Black Adam, the only thing we really had to look forward to was The Flash, but honestly, who knows what's going on with that dumpster fire. It does make sense that now that AT&T doesn't own Warner Brothers and it's owned by Discovery, that they'd want to do their own thing, set up their own universe, and move forward with their own plans. But what do you think about this? What should DC do in the future? Should it be connected? Or should it just be individual stories that don't really go together? Comment down below and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe.